911, what's your emergency? We need an ambulance at SeaWorld. A trainer's been pulled into the water by the Orca. He's not letting her go. Please hurry.
The voice on the line trembled. In the background, chaos, panic, screams. The illusion of safety at one of the world's most iconic marine parks shattered in an instant. It was February 24th, 2010. Just after 1:30 p.m., families gathered at SeaWorld Orlando, expecting wonder, magic, and unforgettable memories. But what they witnessed was horror. Dawn Brancheau, senior Orca trainer, a professional with more than 15 years of experience, calm, confident, standing at the pool's edge. Below the surface, Tilikum, a 12,000-pound orca, watching. Then in a flash, it happened. He lunged. He pulled her into the water, in full view of the crowd. Gasps turned to screams. Trainers ran. Sirens were called. But the worst was already unfolding. For 45 chilling minutes, he refused to let her go. And this wasn't the first time. This wasn't some isolated freak accident. Tilikum had been involved in 2 other human deaths before this day. Yet despite the red flags, he was still performing, still drawing crowds, still treated as a star. So the question must be asked, what happens when we cage the wild? When we turn majestic predators into performers and ignore every warning sign? If you believe stories like these must be told, truthfully, respectfully, and without sensationalism, please like this video, subscribe to Animal World, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do whales like Tilikum belong in marine parks? Or should they be free? Your voice matters. Dawn Brancheau wasn't just a trainer. She was the face of SeaWorld Orlando. From the moment she visited as a little girl, she knew, I want to work with orcas. And she made that dream real through relentless study, training, and a deep love for marine life. She rose to the top, respected, trusted, not just by humans, but by the orcas themselves, especially Tilikum. She knew his size, his strength, his history, and still, she believed in the bond they shared. Tilikum wasn't born in the wild. He was captured off the coast of Iceland in 1983, ripped from his pod at just 2 years old. His first home? Sealand of the Pacific, Canada. Small tanks, cold walls, no escape. There, he was bullied by older orcas, isolated for hours, and trained to perform. Then, in 1991, tragedy struck. A trainer fell into the pool. She drowned. Tilikum was involved, but instead of being retired, he was sold to SeaWorld Orlando. At SeaWorld, Tilikum's massive size made him a breeding asset. But behind the scenes, he was kept separate, never to be swum with, his behavior deemed too unpredictable. In 1999, another mysterious incident. A man named Daniel Dukes was found dead, draped across Tilikum's back. Again, Tilikum was involved. Again, the shows continued. By 2010, Dawn had performed with Tilikum countless times. On that February afternoon, during a routine session of Dine with Shamu, she smiled at the crowd, confident and calm, a professional at her peak, but no one knew it would be her last show. In a single moment, trust was broken. The ocean's greatest predator, caged for decades, snapped. And this time, there was no rescue. Tilikum's story didn't end that day, and neither did the questions it raised. How far should we go in the name of entertainment? What price do we pay for caging wild instincts? And most importantly, can captivity ever replace the wild for animals built to roam it freely? It was February 24th, 2010. Tilikum, the largest orca in captivity, suddenly seized Dawn by the ponytail and dragged her into the water. The splash was enormous, shocking even seasoned trainers watching from nearby. People in the audience screamed, not fully understanding what was happening. At first, some believed it was part of the show, but very quickly it became obvious. Something had gone horribly wrong. What happened next was both brutal and heartbreaking. Witnesses say the orca thrashed Dawn underwater, refusing to release her. Rescuers scrambled. Emergency sirens blared. Trainers threw nets and tried desperately to signal Tilikum to respond to recall commands, but none of it worked. Tilikum had taken full control of the pool. The massive whale circled, dove, surfaced, and then submerged again with Dawn still gripped tightly in his jaws. Attempts were made to lower a rising platform beneath the water in hopes he'd calm down. But it took precious minutes. For over 30 harrowing minutes, they fought to recover her body. Paramedics were already stationed on site. They rushed to the scene and waited helplessly until Dawn's body was finally retrieved. Tragically, she had already succumbed to multiple traumatic injuries. The Orange County Sheriff's report would later reveal broken bones, severe scalp lacerations, and drowning as the official cause of death. SeaWorld was placed on immediate lockdown. The Shamu Stadium was shut down indefinitely. Visitors were evacuated. Staff members were shaken, many crying in the corridors. Within hours, the news had spread worldwide. CNN, BBC, NBC, and countless media outlets ran breaking news alerts. Veteran SeaWorld trainer killed by killer whale during show in Orlando. Dawn's face, warm, smiling, always passionate, flashed on every screen. It was hard to comprehend that she had died in the very place she loved most. SeaWorld issued a brief statement. "We lost a beloved member of our family. Dawn was one of the most experienced animal trainers in the world. Our hearts go out to her family and friends." But the story didn't end there. The U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, launched an immediate investigation into SeaWorld's practices. And what they uncovered raised serious questions. Dawn wasn't the first victim. Tilikum had been involved in 2 previous deaths, one in 1991 in Canada, and another in 1999 when a man was found dead in his tank after trespassing overnight. Why was such a dangerous orca still being used in performances? Was SeaWorld cutting corners on safety? In August 2010, OSHA cited SeaWorld for 3 safety violations, including a willful one for knowingly exposing trainers to hazardous conditions. The total fine was $75,000, later reduced to $12,000 after appeals. But the damage to SeaWorld's reputation was far greater. The court case revealed that SeaWorld had restricted trainer interaction with Tilikum before, but allowed it again over time. It exposed inconsistencies in policy and the culture of risk that had been normalized. Animal rights organizations like PETA responded with fury. They protested outside SeaWorld parks, demanding an end to orca captivity. Social media erupted with hashtags like Free Tilikum and Justice for Dawn. Petitions calling for the retirement of performing whales collected hundreds of thousands of signatures in days. Protesters gathered in Orlando, San Diego, and even outside SeaWorld's corporate offices. Their signs read, "Captivity kills," "She died for entertainment," "Shut down SeaWorld." Then came Blackfish, a documentary released in 2013 that would change everything. The film chronicled Tilikum's life, the psychological toll of captivity, and the events leading to Dawn's death. It featured former SeaWorld trainers, whistleblowers, and experts. The documentary shocked viewers worldwide and pushed SeaWorld into a defensive crisis. SeaWorld attempted to rebut the film's claims, but the damage was irreversible. Public opinion had shifted. Attendance dropped. Celebrities like Ellen DeGeneres, Matt Damon, and even Willie Nelson joined the call to boycott the park. By 2016, facing increasing pressure, SeaWorld made a landmark announcement. "We will end our orca breeding program. The current generation of orcas will be the last under our care. The theatrical shows will be phased out and replaced with educational experiences." It was the beginning of the end for SeaWorld's long-standing tradition of whale performances. Despite the controversy, one thing remained true. Dawn Brancheau was deeply loved. She had devoted her life to marine life, not for fame, but for passion. Friends and family described her as joyful, driven, and compassionate, a woman of faith, a mentor to younger trainers, a voice for animals who could not speak. Her family chose to honor her through the Dawn Brancheau Foundation, which supports community outreach, youth programs, and animal welfare causes. Each year on the anniversary of her death, tributes pour in, from colleagues, from fans, from strangers who were touched by her story. Tilikum died in 2017 after decades in captivity. Some viewed him as a killer, others as a victim, driven to madness by confinement, isolation, and trauma. But what remains etched in time is the legacy of a woman who believed in the beauty of marine life, who gave her life doing what she loved, and who unknowingly helped awaken the world to a deeper truth about the price of captivity. Dawn's story is not just one of tragedy, but of transformation. If this story moved you, help us keep it alive. Like this video, subscribe to Animal World, share your voice in the comments, because only by telling the truth can we change the future.